Good morning, and thanks for joining us here on CBSN New York. I'm Dick Brennan.
And I'm Cindy Hsu. We are tracking Tropical Storm Henri as it gets closer to making landfall.
John Elliott's been tracking the storm all morning. He's in the Weather Center with the latest. John.
Cindy, you bring up landfall. Remember, landfall, likely a miss, a very, very near miss in Montauk, but we've been watching all kinds of damage well to the west of that. So remember, this is a big system, and the main focus this morning has been flooding through this area. This is Somerset, Middlesex, Monmouth County. Rainfall rates slowing down a bit, but again, this pinwheel will continue to push the heavy rain in. So the brighter colors through Suffolk County, it's just wave after wave. Your rainfall rates go up, you get a bit of a break, and then more will fill in. So sure, coastal flooding is a big concern with this storm, that pile-up effect, particularly on the North Shore, but localized street flooding is going to be an issue with this storm as well, and we're going to see more of that impact the Bronx and Brooklyn, where we had 6 inches of rain last night. You're seeing that steadier rain fill in right now. Not forgetting Westchester County, you're going to be dealing with wind and rain. The concern is all that kind of funnel effect, so we worry about the rivers as well, and Connecticut. Boy, Connecticut, you're going to be seeing, you get these breaks and you think you're out of it, but then more rain will flip in and fill in, and that's definitely going to be the order of the day as we're tracking what is now a tropical storm. 65-mile-an-hour winds, that is a blessing. Gusts at 90 miles an hour. Now remember physics, when a skater will pull his or her arms in and they go faster, faster, faster. That's what's happening right there. That's why the really gusty winds are consolidating around the center of the storm. And then we're seeing that tropical storm force wind. But, I mean, that sounds great. But if you've got a vulnerable tree or you've got real estate that's already super saturated, we're still vulnerable to power outages. Watching this too, that north-northwest movement, that's something that started 2 hours ago because it was just screaming north. It's a little slower and there's a little bit of a move, but Cindy, that still means a near miss for landfall. But when you talk about landfall, so if we miss, it's a blessing for us. It's going to be harder for parts of New England, particularly Rhode Island. This could be really devastating because just think of the flooding they're going to be seeing up there. And then more interest in New England will be dealing with this storm as it continues to weaken over land away from the fuel of the warmer water, but still the spin and that kind of wrings the moisture out of the air. So they're going to be dealing with it. We see a break, well, later Monday. One other real quick thing before I let you go this time. This is model guidance for additional. That's the key modifier here. This is additional rain. So maybe you've already had 6 inches of rain. We're going to add an inch or two, or every time we check in the NAM, it's backing away from additional rain for the city, but it's cranking up these huge numbers for parts of the Hudson Valley. That's additional rain for your Sunday into Monday afternoon. We say goodbye to it, and then hoping for minimal power outages because heat and humidity are on the rise middle part of the week. Coming up in a bit, well, another little check of the Futurecast, and we've got some amazing flooding that we need to tell you about in Jersey. Right now, though, we'll send it right back to the desk.
John, through our coverage, we're going to be using all these terms. We went from hurricane to tropical storm. We're going to be talking watches, warnings. I'm wondering if you can just, define all these different things.
I sure can, and you know what? Technology is great, so I'm just going to back you up to some of those things. First off, storm surge warning. What does that mean, a storm surge warning? There's actually a break. When you talk about a thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, it's always a severe thunderstorm warning, and the severe modifier means 60-mile-an-hour winds. All of the nomenclature of storms, and that means that event is happening right now. Tropical updates and advisories are a little different. A storm surge warning doesn't mean that we're seeing 3 to 6 foot inundation right now. It means it is highly probable that we'll see 3 to 6 foot inundation. That's why times of high tide are very important all along the shaded area, close to the city, up over the Sound into Connecticut. A storm surge watch, this is Nassau, South Suffolk, means conditions are favorable for a 2 to 4 foot inundation. You're thinking, well, you know what? No. That is still a big deal. That's why timing is important, you know, in connection with that advisory. That's why the high tide cycle, we go through that. And then the other warning that we're talking about, Cindy, is the tropical storm warning. That means winds at tropical storm force plus 39 plus, highly probable for the city, Long Island, and coastal Connecticut as well. So yeah, words matter, and that's why, you know, you can't get just lost in the simple landfall. No. It's going to be windy, and flooding is going to be an equal threat with this system.
And you know, John, one more thing. When you had the size of the storm on the wall before, I was seeing parts of the waves were already hitting Boston, and then you go all the way back to New Jersey. This is a very wide storm, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, again, we're kind of flipping around here, so it's a little herky-jerky. So you talk about parts of the wave hitting Boston?
Yeah.
Guess where that was last night? Just think, wait a minute, that's exactly what happened in New York last night.
Wow.
This is an outer band here that is hitting Boston, where they're thinking, oh my gosh, this is horrible, but now we get a break. Well, they're going to see more fill in as well. But these outer bands, again, the outer band of Henri will go down in the book as producing the greatest 1-hour rainfall ever in the city of New York, almost 2 inches. Central Park, while they're trying to make music. That happened last night. I think it was 10 to 11.
Wow.
We'll talk. Well, you know, we'll sort it out. You know what? This is good. You got to unpack it, and you got to kind of think of all these gears. But most importantly, keep your cell phone charged. If you got to go, have water and snacks in the car, and please do not drive through flooded areas. We've seen too many stranded vehicles.
We definitely have, John. Thank you. We'll check back with you.